truly final one, and I apologize to my colleagues. Can you tell us where we are on the hostage talks? And there are Israeli officials, I believe perhaps Prime Minister Netanyahu, saying a deal on the hostage talks collapsed because of President's decision and because President signaled this decision. What would you say to that?
So first of all, I'm not going to respond to anonymous officials. Is that on the record quote from someone? I'm not going to respond to anonymous officials, but I would just say that is not at all our assessment of the hostage talks. We actually think that a Rafah operation would weaken Israel's position both in these talks and writ large. We've talked about this before, that a major military operation in Rafah would further weaken Israel's standing in the world, would further create distance from its partners in the region who actually share Israel's goal of seeing Hamas defeated and want to see Hamas replaced with a different governance structure in Gaza. And then also, if you look at Hamas's track record, they have never cared about Palestinian civilian lives. If they did, they wouldn't have launched these attacks in the first place, which they knew would produce a response. They wouldn't hide behind civilians, and they would have agreed to a ceasefire long ago. So I just don't think that argument holds any water. With respect to the talks itself, so we continue to engage with the Israeli government on the amendments to the proposal that Hamas submitted earlier this week. There continues to be, we continue to work to try to finalize the text, try to get an agreement, and I will just say that any effort like this is incredibly difficult. This one has certainly been incredibly difficult, but we will continue to stay engaged to try to get a deal because we believe it's in the interests of all relevant parties.
Thank you.
So just to, it wasn't an anonymous official, it was the Prime Minister of Israel that she was.
So I hadn't seen it on the record. That's why I had seen anonymous quotes earlier. I think my comments stand.
Okay,
I did give a substantive response in any regard, so
Well,
can apply to that.
okay, substantive, I don't know by whose definition. But anyway, when you
Ouch,
say that.
Matt. I thought it was pretty
you
substantive.
say that the death toll, when you said before, prior, the death toll continued or has fallen since October. It's come down, but not yet enough. Whose death toll are you talking about here? Whose figures are you accepting?
So we are looking at the figures that are released by the
who?
Ministry of Health, which we do
By
have.
Gaza, but
Yeah,
by
which you know that
which
we
is run
have.
by Hamas.
Which you know that
And you have-
hold on, let me just finish. We know that we don't have any way of verifying those figures on our own.
Well, then how do you
but
know
they are the only figures that are available. And look, the UN relies on them. We look at them.
Okay.
We do think there are probably issues with the numbers, but they do capture a large death toll and a large civilian death toll.
But you're fairly certain that at least in terms of the trend, they're accurate.
It's just that I can't say accurate with any degree of certainty. Like I can't give you what percentage
Well, then what's
accuracy.
the-
But no, hold on. But if
With
you look
any
at
degree of
no, I
certainty?
can't say if
Like it
they're
could
I can't
be
say if they're off.
0%?
No, hold, if they're off by 10%, by 5, by 50, I can't say something
Well,
like that.
I mean,
but
they might be off by 50%, who knows?
But stipulate whatever they're off by. They have come down, and so they have come down over time. The daily number has come down over time when you look at where they were last October and November to where they are today.
All right, last thing, really briefly, just on this whole hypothetical thing, because when Humaira started her question, it was about my question to you, and it is a hypothetical because you have the president making a determination on something that hasn't happened yet, right?
He is making United States policy based on conversations with the government of Israel, where they tell us what they plan to do.
Let me put it. Let me put it in a very flip way. Like, should I be bringing an umbrella home with me when I leave work today?
I have not looked at the forecast. I can't quite answer that.
Right. So that's a hypothetical. So you don't know, right?
I don't have control over the forecast. The government of Israel. Hold on. The government of Israel has control of what it's going to do, and so when they tell us that they intend to do something, we make our policy in reaction to that.
Okay.